Screencast is meant to teach you how to format a research paper according to APA style. It's useful for those who are beginner Word users, so this includes college students and Screencast is going to teach you how to format a student research paper according to the 7th edition of the APA style manual. In this screencast, This screencast is going to teach you how to format a student research paper according to the 7th edition of APA. It's aimed at beginner level Word users such as college students who know and understand how to do basic tasks such as bold, indent, highlight, and navigate the Word system. So the very first step that you need to do is open Word and create a blank document such as this one, and you're going to go ahead and insert a page number in the right hand corner. So you would click on the header, and then you would go to insert page number and insert it on the right hand side. Then you are just going to change the font to be Times New Roman 12. This is a standard font that professors prefer. And the second thing you are going to do is you're going to double space your papers. You're going to leave the header and click on the first line of the blank page, and you are going to click on 2.0, which is double spacing. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to click enter twice on the keyboard. According to APA standards, the title needs to be at least 2 enters away from the top margin. And you're going to go ahead and enter the title of your slide. So to demonstrate, I'm just going to type the title of this slide. And make sure that you use upper and lowercase letters. Now you're going to go ahead and bold the title, and you're going to go ahead and center the title. The next step is to put your cursor at the end of this slide. Click enter twice again to create space between your title and where you're going to put your name. Then you're going to type in your first name, middle initial, and your last name in this format. Next, you're going to type the department of your course. For example, it might be the Department of English or Math or Science. And then right after, you're going to put a comma and the name of the institution you're assisting. So name of institution. After, you're going to click another enter. Oops, I spelled that wrong, so I'm just going to fix that. After typing in the department and the name of the institution, on the next line, you're going to type in the course's number as well as the name. I'm going to put the course that I'm currently taking, New Media for Technical Communication. And then right after, you're going to click enter, and the next line should be the name of your professor name. And then you're going to include the due date. So I'm just going to put February 28th in honor of this leap year. That is your title page. You have the title of the presentation, you have of the research paper, you have your first name, middle initial, last name, department, name of institution, the course you're taking, the name of the course, your name of your professor, and the date the assignment is due. And all this, you can just double check to make sure that it is in Times New Roman, size 12 point. So that concludes the title page, but now moving on to the abstract. So you can just scroll all the way down, or you could just click enter until you get there. Just make sure that you're in the first line. You can go ahead and type in the word abstract. It should already be bolded, but if not, once again, you just go to the menu, you click on B for bold, and then you center it once again. You're going to click enter again to go to the next line, and then this time you're going to left align it. And then you can go ahead and start typing in your abstract at this point. I'm going to use placeholder text instead. So you would just go ahead and type in your abstract, whatever that may be. Just know that it should cover your research topic, your research questions, your methods, your analysis, and your conclusion. So this would basically be your abstract. Make sure that you don't indent any lines, but on your final line, go ahead and type in keywords. And then you're gonna italicize it, which is the I, And you're going to go ahead and type in some keywords that are going to make your research paper easy to find in a database. Maybe it's the biology paper, you can click biology. But since it's an English paper, it might make more sense. This is supposed to be an English paper. It might make more sense to make English-related terms such as literature or maybe English analysis, or even the name of the book that you're analyzing in your research paper, whatever fits. Make sure, again, just double check that is double space. And there you go. You have your abstract, which is bold and centered. You have your actual abstract, which in this example is my placeholder text. And then just make sure your final line is keywords, the actual word italicized, and you enter words that are going to make your research paper easier to find. And the final page is going to be your paper's title. I just clicked on the very first line of the third page. Now I'm going to type in paper's title. It should be bolded, as you can see. It should be centered, and just double check it's Times New Roman, and it has size 12-point font. And then you're gonna make your cursor go back to the left of the line, and you can go ahead and type in whatever your paper is about. Once again, I'm just gonna use placeholder text. Make sure that it is double spaced. And this time, make sure you indent every paragraph, which you can easily do using the tab button on your keyboard. So once again, make sure every new paragraph is indented, which I'm doing by clicking the tab button on my keyboard. I'm just gonna combine this all as one to make it all on one page. Once again, just tab every new paragraph. I'm going to delete this. So this is my paper where it begins on page 3. You can see the title, bold and centered. Every new paragraph is indented. But on the 4th page, we have our references. So you can go ahead and type in references. Once again, it should be bold, it should be centered, Times New Roman, 12-point font. Just know that you cite your sources based on the source type. For example, periodicals. This gives you a quick cheat sheet of how you can remember this. Periodicals, you have the author's last name, first initial, then their middle name, and then you put the year, the title of the article, the title of the periodical, volume number, issue number, pages, and the DOI or the URL. So this would be source 1, and it's a periodical. However, if you're citing a book, you would, once again, the beginning is always the same, but the author's last name, then first initial, then middle initial, the year of publication, the title of the work. And then for electronic sources, I'm going to delete. This is our second source. And then for electronic sources, you would put, once again, last name, first initial, middle name, year, month, date, title of page, site name, and URL. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And I'm going to delete that. Now that you have all 3 of your sources, one periodical, one from a book, one from an electronic source, now you're going to do a hanging indentation. So first we're going to start with our first source, highlight it. Then you are going to go to the line spacing options. And you are going to look for the word special, and then you're going to click on hanging indentation, and then you're going to click OK. And now you have a hanging indentation. You have the first line, but then the second line is indented automatically for you. Now we're going to do the same thing for our other 2 sources. Once again, highlight it, line spacing options, look for special, hanging indentation. And this one only has 1 line, so you can only do a hanging indentation if your source citation has more than 1 line. And after that, you are all done. You have a full APA-style research paper with a title page, an abstract, and then your paper, and lastly, your references. And this concludes the screencast.